Hey, my trendies, trendsetters, and my trendy tribe. Let's see how much I can record before I leave to go work out. Because yes, I'm back with my trainer. If you're a member, I started posting my workouts again. We didn't stop. Okay, I just haven't been able to have. I haven't had time to edit and post. Also, don't forget we have a Charnita's World watch along tonight. It's available on demand. At the time, it's going to be available on demand. I already tried the link. I see the slot where it's going to be available on demand. I will put the link in the description box for this video. It's already in my stories. Charnita also posted in her stories, letting y'all know on Nubian TV it's available on demand. I was also able to subscribe to Hugh TV. So yeah. So I see it. Hopefully I'm gonna see it both ways just so I can support. Okay, let's move on to the what this video is about. Okay, first context. So I posted this morning. So there was a quote. I love seeing some good quotes. And so I saw a quote and it said, she looked at her old life one last time, inhaled deeply, and whispered to herself, it is time. I am ready for my new storybook to begin. And I felt that, like 41 Fist says, I felt that deep down in my sha-na-na. And so I added a little context for me on why I was posting that quote. And basically, I was letting the trendies know, y'all, I turned down a promotion opportunity recently. And let me tell you exactly what I mean by that. This time, now I've had times where I've actually had to just say, no, thank you. This one was one where I was told like it would be a great opportunity for me to submit my name to apply. I had people helping me with my resume. My supervisor was already like, I got you. I will put in a recommendation for you. I got you. You just do what you got to do. All those things, right? And so let me finish reading what I wrote. But I said I turned down a promotion opportunity recently because I felt like something big was starting outside of my 9 to 5 career. A little of what's to come is being revealed to me. Stay tuned for an announcement. So that's what I posted, okay? And so anyway, I did submit my application, and for my type of job, we also have to do, it's like an assessment. The questions don't change, but you have to renew the assessment to remain current to be part of your qualifications to apply. And let me tell you, when I tell you I already know I was ready, I'm already in that section. It just would be literally switching to the different I'm gonna say material that we handle. That's how I'm gonna put it. So it was like, I mean, when I say I was ready as far as on paper goes, right? I have been getting great performance reviews. I get monetary bonuses, time off awards, all the things. So like I was ready. Like that was not an issue. Nothing was an issue really. I've also been in my current position for a while to where it's like, oh, that's an easy one. Anyway, everything was green light to go for that job. So I actually did hit the apply button. I did get that far. But when it came time to take the assessment to do like that last cross your T dot your I said, you know what? If I wake up and I still feel as unmotivated to do that final part as I feel today, like that time that day, I will know for sure like this is actually not what I want to do right now, because I know that test frontwards and backwards. Like I said, the questions don't change. I've been in this job sector for 6 years now. I was good. And so I woke up the next morning and I did not feel any motivation to do that assessment. Not only did I not feel any motivation to do it, I felt a lot of the anti part of you better not do it. You know that's not what you want. You're operating out of this fear-based thing where you're thinking like when you actually do want the opportunity, it won't be available anymore. Your whole motivation is scarcity. You're thinking about the scarcity of this position being available when it would have been something you might have wanted. So I didn't apply. Of course, I told my husband, I said, hey, I just want to let you know, I did not finish the application for that job. And it's so funny because he was actually relieved. He was like, I'm happy for you because I think you would have just put stress on yourself for no reason. Like you don't need it. Like there's nothing you need about it except you just felt like, oh, it's a promotion. And that was the one pro. So he was already happy for me that I didn't do it. I then texted my supervisor and I told her, I said, hey, just want to let you know, I actually really enjoy being on our team. I like the dynamic we have. I am really good to just continue here what I'm doing now. And she said, well, I'm happy to keep you. I just know that, of course, you are very qualified and whenever you're ready. That was basically her response. So she ain't trying to push me off the team or nothing either. Let me get to the questions I was asked by the Millimeters fan page. Shout out to them. Because so shout out to the Millimeters fan page. This is actually, she had some good questions, plural, because I also look to the people I admire and I love to know how their brain works, what did their gut tell them, and everything like that. So to be asked how in the background of these things working for me, I am more than willing to share, and I know everything's going to show up differently for people. So what she wrote was, you know what, Trending, this would be some good commentary because sometimes a lot of us are unsure or we're scared to make the wrong decision. How did you know, or what made you make the decision to choose greater over great? Because the promotion was great, but you knew there was greater and you chose it. Was it your faith? Was it you knowing that your gifts would make room for you? I apologize for all the questions. I just love to see people walking in their prayers. I love that, walking in their prayers. Beautiful questions, sis. Beautiful questions. So let me try to answer a little bit at a time. How did you know, or what made you make the decision to choose greater over great? So there was a few things that went into this. First of all, I literally couldn't even drag my hands to work the mouse to click to go to the assessment and do it, because when I say there was zero motivation, there might have even been a negative balance of motivation to do that. And again, I'm familiar with the test. I've had to do it at least 3 to 4 times. It's just a renewable thing. It's not, so there's nothing to be afraid of, like, oh, I don't know the questions and all this stuff. I almost knew if I didn't get that position, I would just be on the list to get the equal position in 30 to 60 days from the time I interviewed for that position. So I need to make it very clear. I am sure I would have gotten a promotion. I want to be very clear about that. The promotion would have put me in making 6 figures just off of my job income alone. So there was a significant pay bump, all the things. But the motivation to put my hand on that mouse and click to that test was non-existent. But the motivation to go click and research my legal cases, to go look at my art references, to click the live button to go talk to y'all, easy. It was like, I almost had to be like, well, you got to be responsible. You can't do that right now. You got something else you got to do. But that's how big the difference felt in the motivation to take that test that I knew the answers to, or go do this passion project that I have, which is YouTube. And of course, there's different ways I'm showing up in YouTube, but just the umbrella of YouTube overall. Another thing I realized was that I will have to use more parts of my brain, because although I would know enough of that job, it still was different enough to where I'd have to get used to the new person that would be over me, the particular entities I would have to be associated with, and their quirks, all of that. So, and I was like, what do you feel like? Asking myself is, what do I feel like from my day to day, even on the 9 to 5 days that I'm working? What do I generally feel like? And y'all, when I tell you there's a constant calm that I feel in my day to day of where I'm at now, I don't want to trade that calm, especially when there's all this freedom to still pursue my passions. I don't want to lose that calm for what? Also, I do believe that the monetary side will come from YouTube eventually, to where like it'll equal or be greater than what the promotion could have done. It's not something I know for a fact, but I feel it. I feel it. And to give y'all, let me give you an example of one of those feelings that can overcome me every now and again. This particular feeling might show up once every 2 to 3 months or so. Sometimes I've had it where there was some back-to-back days that it would happen, but overall, a few times a year, I will get this feeling when it's like, let me punch you with confirmation that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. If you've ever gotten the best massage of your life, or if you had that glass of wine that really calmed you down and chilled you out, that feeling right before you're about to drift off to a deep sleep, try to think of that relaxed feeling to where your bones are almost liquid, right? So I'm sitting here at my desk at my workspace at home, and it was 3:01 p.m. exactly Eastern Standard Time that I ended up being taken over by that feeling. And I was writing in my notebook. It's the same notebook I have written in for my notes for the Lunch Break Lives. I wrote what I was fasting for the universal fast in this notebook, stuff like that. And I was taking regular notes on just like, okay, you need to, go ahead and do this, this, and this for the YouTube side. And when I tell you that feeling hit me, it hit me so hard I had to look at the time. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was expecting to see a 3:33 on the clock or something, like, cause I told you I'm a numbers person too and everything. So like that's why I remember it was 3:01 p.m. because I had to look up at the time to be like, what is that? And I was of course I was in the office by myself at the time, and I just had to sit in that feeling. And I never know what's gonna follow that feeling except something amazing will happen. But that could be even good news for somebody else. Like, I don't know. I just know it's going to be something really good. And that was one of the feelings I had. Now this was post me making my decision. I passed the deadline to change my mind. Like, I can't go back and change my mind. The deadline's gone. Okay. So, but this was post that. But what I'm saying is that sometimes I get these sure, calm, as if I was sitting there meditating for 30 minutes, like, and was letting my mind drift, but I wasn't. I was very active at the time, but that it didn't matter. I got that feeling you get when you go into a great deep meditation. That's the feeling I got, like, and that was more of a confirmation feeling that time. But and I'm logical too. I'm a pros and cons list type of person, and even if I did a list, if I made a list of the pros and cons of taking that job, the only pro was being promoted to have the extra income. There was so many other cons, and it was like, why? Again, so basically, me trying to be introspective came down to, oh, you just wanted this because you were afraid you never get this particular chance again. It's no other reason. Because not even progression wise, every now and again, your boss or somebody might talk to you about, okay, make sure stay diverse, progress, and all this stuff. I had no progression pressure from anybody higher up than me. It was all in me, in the sense of, I was like, oh, each year I'm getting older, and what if the opportunity doesn't present itself later? What if it's more competitive later? Whereas there's like this lull right now, and everybody's already kind of been promoted. So like this one also might have lower competition. And I have gotten promoted during high competition, low competition. So it's not that I haven't experienced that. It's just giving y'all a picture of where it is right now. So it would have been like so easy. Just slide me on in there is what I'm saying. The path was laid out. It was a golden brick road type thing. So choosing greater was me picturing what would make me happy long term, like looking back, and like telling somebody about my life and like what I was doing over those years, all those things. And it always came back to, now YouTube's the platform right now. The platform may change, but doing my passions on whatever platform is available won't change. So the drawing, my art, giving commentary, going over our legal stuff, trying new things with my editing, all those things. That's what I would be so proud to talk about. I am proud of my job too. I'm very proud of my job, but I know like that's more expected. That's not what has me waking up smiling about it. And then she said, and you chose the greater. Was it your faith? It is definitely faith. It is faith. And for me, this is all encompassing. So I'm going to say, obviously, my faith in God. And then And with that comes again like that meditation feeling that came over me. Like I feel like, there's different ways we'll be communicated to spiritually, depending on how you're open to receiving it. So one of them for me is definitely that overwhelming feeling of calmness is one of mine. Also practicality, in the sense of like, because I'm staying disciplined and consistent. And then y'all are like my progress report. So the feedback I get from my peers, from my trendies, it's 4:44 right now as I record this, y'all. But at the feedback I get, it's like, okay, y'all are receptive to what I'm liking to do, and then you're receptive to that. So I'm already liking it, and then y'all are like, oh yes, more of this, please. And then there's still an unknown, but my faith is, yes, faith is the foundation. Then a smaller piece is my discipline and commitment and consistency, knowing that since I like it, I'll keep doing it. So therefore it has no choice but to grow, because I'm me. And so there, it's coming from me. And then she said, was it you knowing that your gifts will make room for you? That one is okay. So actually, I feel like I'm saying yes, but I'm gonna actually almost say no, because I don't know that my gifts will make room for me necessarily. I just know I'm doing what I should be doing, hoping they'll make room for me, but I actually don't know. It's almost like the one thing I did know is I knew I wasn't being true to myself had I chosen the promotion side. That's more what I knew than knowing that the gifts would be the reward instead. It was just no, it was like, you don't really want this. And are you going to be honest and admit it? Or are you going to people please and do it because other people might be like, why wouldn't you do it? Or, like, even before I knew what my supervisor would say, are you just going to go ahead and do it? That way you can at least show her that, hey, I did go through with it and all this other stuff. So I did not automatically think, oh, my gifts are going to make room for me. I didn't necessarily think that. And then, so that posting closed out on, I think it was it April 5th, the Friday, April 5th. That's when that posting closed out. And I felt so good on April 6th when I did not have the chance to go back and change my mind. So I was like, oh, this feels really good, because now I have no chance to go back and second guess myself, and I still wouldn't want to. There's no take back season. I'm okay with that. And then, so April, that's what happened. April 6th, I was so happy. Like, oh my God, I know this was right for me. Then, now I'm forgetting what days they happened, but just, I'll just say this. There are, as I put in the caption, there are phone calls that have happened over the last 3 months that I have been privileged to be a part of. And I'm going to say this. These are including like phone calls I have with Lil Sis and Middle Sis. Lil Sis is here for hot tea. Middle Sis is Journey to Jasmine. Just want to give y'all an example of the type of phone calls. Their brains are amazing. There have been other phone calls as well, because this is like a culmination thing. And Jasmine, Journey to Jasmine, she likes to say you're in your jet stream. That's what you're feeling right now. You're in your jet stream. And like if you are a, prayers manifestation person, that jet stream is basically being in what you have been working to manifest. It is happening, and it's happening quickly, and you just stay in the path and just accept it, So, and that's what it feels like, because when things, now I'm getting the confirmation, but I didn't have the confirmation before I made that decision, because nothing is guaranteed ever. So my thing is, make sure you're doing something you really like to do, love to do, because you're going to need that on them days you don't see any movement or traction. You have to, and you may have to reinvent the things you love, because I have had an art channel before. This is not my first time coming to the public with something I believe to be a skill or something like that, or even just showing my personality. I was like the memes y'all like that I've been making on Instagram and putting on YouTube. I've always been that person. It's just I found a new way to show that I'm that person, So I am in a state of constant gratitude on the way that y'all receive my personality too, by the way. But it's going to show up different from you. But I would say if you find yourself feeling unmotivated to do something that actually on paper really will work out really well for you and you still feel unmotivated to do it, look at that other thing that you keep feeling super motivated to do, even if it's not producing the flowers at the time that you think it should. And that's always your greater, because especially if you can find your middle ground, because my middle ground is I still keep my 9 to 5. I just don't need the more money. I want to keep my time and peace of mind over the more money. And then, I hopefully obviously my gifts may lead to more money. And there's some gifts you don't want to make uh commerce because you want to enjoy them and keep your hobby a hobby and not make it be stressful. So, you have to consider all those things. But if you really feel unmotivated and it just looks like everything is right for this, then that is also to me a form of your gut. That feeling unmotivated to seek it might be your gut, but also then you should know what you really do like doing, or there's something else you really like doing. And obviously be reasonable and wise and have a middle ground to where you can survive, pay your bills and things like that. But you don't always have to go for the more. um, Go for the fulfilling feelings, because then other things naturally shine from you, whatever that is you're doing. Shout out to my little bro, Prince Terrell from the Palace. He started his channel, his YouTube channel. I'm going to also try to put that in the description box, because it's Prince of Peace, though. That's the name of the channel, Prince of Peace. And his is going to have some music focus in there, and it's going to have fresh content. Like, I know everything doesn't have to deal with YouTube, but I'm just saying that when you know what you like to do. And you might not know what that means. Like if you're like, well, I know what I like to do, but I don't know how to translate it to this. That's different. And you may have to kind of feel that out, but you know what you like to do though. So I think what has been happening is I've been focusing on what I like and love to do versus what I stand to gain from some things. And I feel so happy, and I have gotten confirmation. And this time I'm getting confirmation, but I have really been selective for a long time on a lot of things, including my career. Because when I changed my career 6 years ago, that was me being selective and going into the unknown, because I did not know, but I knew I was not happy in what I was doing. And I still was drawing back then. I was doing all those things, and I didn't know if it would or wouldn't lead to anything beyond I just like doing this. But I chose my middle ground carefully so I could have some type of peace while I enjoyed the things that I loved as well. My home has been more peaceful since I made a career change. A lot of things. Y'all know I was prior military and stuff like that. So a lot of the stress came from the type of job I had in the military and everything like that. So yeah, it was a lot, but I'm gonna tell you what, if you feel unmotivated, and I don't mean you're just bad at time management and you procrastinate, because I procrastinate on things I love too. I mean, if you literally feel like you're dragging yourself through sand, or treading through like a pool of water, and you're moving super slow to do something that seems 100% good for you, examine that and see why you don't feel motivated to do something that on paper seems super good for you. And it's probably because you're choosing yourself, and your guts trying to help you choose yourself versus what everyone else may think is the logical best thing to do. So I do hope that helped. Shout out to the Millimeters fan page for asking the questions that need answers. So I appreciate it. I definitely hope this insight helped. I look to other people to see how they came to decisions as well, or their actions. And Queen Sheba, what held her back? What makes her reveal a receipt? What makes her go ahead and be like, this is the time to speak on this? All those things. Like, she's just one of my examples. But I really do like to observe people. And so therefore when I saw these questions, I understood the value, and then I felt kind of proud to even be able to be one that's going to give their personal insight on something that's been happening for them. And y'all stay tuned for the announcement that should be today. If not today, hopefully tomorrow. I do have the announcement, and that's just, again, that's one of the things being revealed to me, that I'm making the decision that I should have made for myself. Like, I'm on the right track. All right, y'all. But I hope this helped. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Talk to you later. Bye.
I've been taking my time, I've been taking my time.